start recording because I have some stuff to show you. Oh, one main thing, and that is I got my ears pierced on Saturday before work. So yeah, you can't really see them, to be fair, they're right there, and my ears do look a bit red, so I might keep my headphones off for a little bit. To be fair, it's mainly like the top parts of my ear that look red, not really here around my piercing. And that's mainly because of how I've been wearing my headphones, because I've been trying to like stop like keeping like pressure off my like earrings, because like I said, I only got them done yesterday before work. So I was like okay, I was looking online to see like, oh, can I still wear headphones? And they were like, yeah, and the common consensus, and I was mainly looking on like Reddit and Quora for this, so I was like taking it with a grain of salt, but they would be like, oh, it'll be like uncomfortable for like a few days, and if it feels uncomfortable or like it hurts to wear your headphones, then obviously don't wear them, but like, and like try to wear them in a way where it'll like take pressure off your, well like it'll have minimal pressure on your piercing. So my mum's just been like, don't wear your headphones at all, but like she's been mainly saying it, don't wear these ones, which these ones are they're like think here, they're like holding the Beats headphones here, the like speaker bit, it is like much smaller than obviously my gaming headset that I use here. So I've not been wearing these ones too much, and these ones are slightly more awkward to wear than my gaming headset. So yeah, and my bitrate has gone down slightly. Okay, it's dropping frames already. Great. Whatever. But yeah, so I mean, to be fair, the main kind of slight issue that I've been having is because the way I've been wearing my headphones, it's kind of been my glasses, like this part of my glasses specifically has been like annoying me. So yeah, so I might keep my headphones off for a while. I might put them on for a little bit, but if they start annoying me, obviously I'll take them off. So yeah, I need to find an actual comfortable place to actually have them on, in a way that like this bit of the headphones won't really interfere with my piercing. So yeah, I didn't really show you actually my actual piercing. I've just got a stud in it for now, like a silver one. You can't actually see it. You can't really see it. I'll probably post a picture of it on like Twitter or like Instagram. I think a lot of you guys use Instagram more than Twitter, which is fair fucking enough, honestly. And my hair is so fucking greasy. Like, I haven't washed it since Friday. I love it how the 2 days a week I stream now are also my 2 hair wash days. And so like on stream it's like most of the time my hair is like kind of greasy. But I promise I do wash it. It's just usually it's that I wash it after stream. So yeah. I'm trying to find, I think I just caught my earring slightly. How can I, okay, I think that's the best way. Yeah, okay, I think this is me trying to, you know, sort my headphones set out. But yeah, other than like it being slightly like I haven't had any problems since. I haven't really had any problems with my piercings, to be fair. The only problem I've had is like me putting like a lot of pressure on like the top of my ear to try and stop it from being at like the bottom. But that's like it. And I'm not going to be wearing my headset all day, obviously, because I'm in uni. But yeah. Why did I put work on my stream topics? I don't really have too many stuff to talk about other than we've gotten like another new person at work, which is like, I was thinking, why do we have, the only reason I can think of that we have another new person at work, because last time I heard, my manager was like kind of struggling for like hours and shit. So yeah, I mean, unless like some people have like quit or whatever. I mean, I kind of understand it because now it's like a lot more people are like going back to uni, so kind of need like a few more people. So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into the rest of Turnabout Reminiscence, aka kind of the first case that Edgeworth worked on. Not like his first trial, that was Turnabout Beginnings, but like the first case he started to work on. So yeah, here we are with Bad and Little K. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't that Detective Bad and K over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it. Oh, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks, I'll treasure it always. Those two seem to get along rather well. It's always the grumpy old men that, like, get along with kids the best. Oh hey, I've got something for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier, I ate one of these with gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean gumshoe? Gummies. Oh. He was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. I feel bad for her. Don't cry. Friday would be sad if he saw you crying. I'm not crying. Let her cry, man. Her dad just died. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too. Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. Yeah, what is it? I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Okay, so I don't know. We don't really need to investigate this place, I don't think. So we can just talk to Bad. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. It sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell's still here. Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I'll bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yeah, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. I was one for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you'll hold onto this bottle without fail. Okay? Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? Okay, now I've got some of Yu's perfume. So now we have the perfume Mr. Yu wears. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. He's not too happy about this, is he not? So you were in this room the entire recess? Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Mr. Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then, what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Mr. Yu were in two different locations? Guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Ugh. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG-8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew? I also know that today's trial involving the Cadopium Embassy staff member, is being referred to as a second KG-8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time that you are honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG incident. Come on, Bad. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. I'm gonna check this Discord notification really quickly. There we go. KG-8. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who are directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG-8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we three were involved with the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean a smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Deveray, aka the victim of the last case. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Deveray was probably being intimidated by the big mob boss man, just another scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano Group? He can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do? Suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Money Coaching, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu did mention that as well, about how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. What kind of a trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No, only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KGA incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned, and that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Calisto Yu. This series fucking loves its doomed siblings, doesn't it? First we had Maya and Mia, then we had Emma and Lana, then we had fucking Maya and Mia again, then we had Dahlia, Iris and Pearl, then we just had so many doomed siblings. We also have, obviously right now we have Calisto and Cece. Who else we had Apollo and Tracy. I don't know. They don't know their siblings. I don't really see Apollo and Tracy as like doomed siblings. They just don't know their siblings. Kind of doomed siblings, I guess. This fucking series just hates families. Like Edward's lost his dad. Maya's lost a sister. Pearl's sisters are in prison, and one of them's been executed. Callisto's sister is dead. The list goes on and on and on. That's when I first met Calisto Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the day of the verdict of the KGA incident was. It was on the day the verdict of the KGA incident was handed down, was it not? Yeah. Faraday and we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself, that she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah, Faraday and even after the KGA incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases, but the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time, for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright? And for that you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth, I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rao was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop for you, that's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma? Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. Relation to Faraday. So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay? I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarazu case. He shots that we know about the Yatagarazu. Did we touch a nerve? Yeah, we did. I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarazu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarazu. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time to prove or disprove the accusation, but I guess I won't be doing that either. I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarazu is what's necessary. Okay, then let's ask him about the Yatagarazu then. You claim to know much about the Yatagarazu. I've said Yatagarazu so many fucking times already. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarazu. What? The KG8 incident and the second KG8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring, and in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarazu. Mr. Rao claimed to be the Yatagarazu, however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarazu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edra, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarazu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rao's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarazu. If it will help you solve this case, then I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarazu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. It still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarazu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarazu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarazu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarazu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. So that kind of leads credence to maybe the Yatagarazu being someone in law enforcement, or someone who is, like a prosecutor like Faraday was. Because, I feel like, detectives, prosecutors will have, and lawyers will have somewhat of a decent knowledge of security systems. But it was bad, the Yatagarazu? Or was it actually Faraday? I don't know. We won't know yet. I see. So those are the Yatagarazu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarazu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and will never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rao wasn't the real Yatagarazu right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yetagarazu. The Yetagarazu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yetagarazu this, Yetagarazu that, please just tell us who it is, would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. Ooh. The evidence this time was sent to the police, was something only Faraday and I, and a select few of us knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yetagarazu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yetagarazu uses was attached, and that's how I can be so sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yetagarazu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. You know, I just got an idea actually. So, on the Steam page for Ace Attorney Investigations, Shelly the Killer is on it with that. He's right next to Gregory Edgeworth in the promo picture in the Steam page picture for Investigations, and he also leaves a card on any of one of his killings because he's an assassin. Is he also the Yetagarazu? Just making this seem like two different people. He's using several different I can't think of the word, aliases? Is the Yetagarazu also Shelly the Killer? Maybe. A white card is sent along with the stolen information, but when we questioned Rel about what it was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. And that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yetagarazu now. Okay, there's a bailiff in here. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Okay, here's the judge. Again, I don't know why, but the judge being same height as Edgeworth, similar height to Edgeworth, it feels weird to me. I thought he'd be taller. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. It appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. But there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francisca, there is no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence. Your Honor, come on, Your Honor. Oh, yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yeah, I'm sorry. And I would, except that defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into the case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men, This could be a very good chance for me to find some leads regarding that case. Maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I placed all of the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I'll go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I love this little... I love how we have people that will just follow us. Like in the first case, there was Gumshoe. And now in this case, we have Francisco. And I did not mean to go into the lobby. Let's go and go here. So this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag. I'm just going to check this discard ping really quickly. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yeah, finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just the data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Don't point your crap at me just because you don't know something. I know you tried to order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also real to see the knife up close. So, we have the knife, the gun, and an envelope, and what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right, I completely forgot to tell you about what, Your Honor. They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside the evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said he would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. Whenever we look a gift horse in the mouth, we might as well flip through it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. So let's just look at his organizer first. I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Well, you should. Perfectly, and in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September the 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Macro was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rao was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't know it's a security camera. The Cadopian embassy's security system is supposedly well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yeah, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. Okay, and then we have the gun. This gun, it was originally used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member. Well, when the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rao still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. Then we have the knife that killed Faraday. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? And it's never crossed my mind that you use your riding crop for the wrong purpose. Mr. Faraday's organizer, it appears he was in the habit of using it. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I have collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one. Okay. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell is not the real Yata Gorazu. Hello Ace! Hello. How you doing Ace? Welcome on in. We're just playing a bit of Edge of Investigations today. So yeah, how you doing Ace? And it would also appear that he had proved that Mr. Rell was not the Yata Gorazu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yetagarazu's key, I can prove he's a phony. And well, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. I'm slightly kind of tired, but yeah, other than that, I'm doing pretty good. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. And he apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence. Busy weekend? Well, I got my ears pierced yesterday morning before work, and then I was in work yesterday, obviously. And then my Sunday's been pretty chill today, actually. My aunt came over about, like, just before 2, I think? Yeah, that's about it. My weekend hasn't been too bad. So yeah. Are you done anything this weekend, Dace? Have you done anything fun this weekend? It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yeah, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rail may have made about being the real Yetagarazu. And just resting. Fair fucking enough. Oh yeah, have you started I'm guessing you started your stuff thingy. Start uni next week. A bit nervous. Oh yeah, you're doing the apprenticeship. I don't know why. I was thinking you were doing A levels, but no, you're doing the apprenticeship uni thing. Oh, you start late. You start late then, because I've just started this week, and everyone else I know have started either last week last week. So you're starting a bit later than everyone else then. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Bell was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Yep, okay, that's been added to our organizer. Look, there's a picture stuck between these pages here. It appears to be a key. Weird key. And a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yetagarazu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Yetagarazu's key? Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yetagarazu. The Yetagarazu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yetagarazu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others, knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. As the prosecutor on both the Yetagarazu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. You think he'd put something like that down? The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Was it Mackerel's knife then? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that into here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? Was Rel working with one of the bailiffs, or a guard, or a prosecutor, or someone who could have easily gone in without too much question, like a detective or a prosecutor or a lawyer? My suspicion is either on Calisto or Bad, who brought the knife in. I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Maybe it was planted somehow by someone in his evidence bag. Conversely, there's one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer from Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was all through this piece of evidence that it was brought into... It's through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into this courthouse. I'm gonna say the Yetagarazu key. That's the only thing.
Take that!
That's the only thing I can think of. This Yetagarazu's key, Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisco, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? The handle of the knife. They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yetagarazu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yetagarazu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say... Were they swapped out? It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pictures are in fact one and the same way. The knife is the Yetagarazu key. But that's impossible. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail. Huh? Wait, what? It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have beautiful design works into them. Look, there's even a flower shaped design in this cooled section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself. She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give. Wait, there's a button here. What? There's a button there. Oh! That's how it works. I thought I was thinking that the knife, like the blade came off. But no. Can't believe it's turned into a key. To think that was such a trick to this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key to the Yetagarazu key. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea that the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday, meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place, the great thief Yetagarazu. So we find out who the Yetagarazu is. We find a suspect? Then maybe Mr. Rao really was the Yetagarazu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really, especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rao was not the Yetagarazu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, but when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows the trick behind the key is someone else, and that person is the real Yetagarazu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. Okay, that's when I updated in our court record. That's odd, we're shown one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rell committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yeah, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No, I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene? Maybe it's in the TV. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers we seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime. Defendant lobby number 2. Okay. Okay, there's... Oh, that's Lang. That's Lang. There's Shilong Lang. And there's Detective Bad. That's Detective Bad, but who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. So, did you find it? No, not yet, and I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. Heh, so you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Furry bitch. Honestly. What was that all about, and who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know he's standing right behind me. But what do you want? Kids? It looks like you were paying attention after all. Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. Ah, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zhengfa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I'll take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. Okay, let's talk to him then. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1 and now you're in here. Now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite a busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy? You'll see. I will draw my answer from you one way or another. Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask you once again about what happened around here at the time of the murder, time of the crime even. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do will be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything? He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence? I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. So that would be the knife and the key. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and the Yatagarasu key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like you didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu key to prove that Mr. L was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. Yeah, I have to admit neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you are searching for. Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright, but it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Okay. Time of the murder. Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same, and this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. What trivial things? We need to know. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2. It sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed. However, I feel like that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Okay, rebuttal time. Okay.
Hold it!
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one for the murder, that would give the other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement right now. Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot, but what about the balloon? What about the balloon that popped? Do we still have it? Yes, we do. What about the balloon that popped on the cactus that Kay was holding? Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about the girl's balloon? Yeah, I was staying with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Added in 5 minutes, by the way. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yeah, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. That places some suspicion on him. If he didn't hear the balloon pop, like, where was he if not the lobby number 1? And if you're in lobby number 1 at the time, you're close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? Don't give me a so. We'll just prove that there is a flaw in your testimony. the crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and the walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? The doors and the walls are super thick, the window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. And you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there's no way I could have heard that sound. Oh shit. No. I knew that's what he was going to say. Then that means that Scarface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any signs of a struggle. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way round. The other way round? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the sounds to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the walls are super thick, then he couldn't have heard the gunshot. If the rooms are soundproof, as you say they were, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought. Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? The state of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. Wait, were both windows that if... Wait, the window was open in lobby number 2. I remember that. So the gunshot must have went off after Calisto spilled some of her perfume and Bad opened the window. Which means that he would have been able to hear the gunshot. Because it's not like there's like soundproof air, you know. It's that ultra strong perfume you wear. She spilled some of it. Ah! And when it's noisy, there's a loud television. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Okay, lobby number 2 window and the smell. That must be connected somehow. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. Yeah, the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. Which means that Bad could have also heard the TV as well. Now then, where else besides it? I know yeah, the window in the hallway was open. Meaning that, you know, a gunshot is a very loud sound. So of course Gumshoe would have, you know, heard the gunshot. Now then, what else besides the smell can go through, but can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. I decided to, by the way. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of the gunshot could be heard in both locations. And missing evidence that she couldn't be heard. That's the only thing we have. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If he disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? And the ad is in progress. But, oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna check some. I need to check some texts from my group chat. I don't know if that is finishing soon or not. I can't see. Yeah, it should be finishing soon. And I'll reply to them later. Okay, we'll come back to the ad. I need some sunglasses. There we go. Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. It's no waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the TV, the television. The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Begin investigation. That will be a very short investigation. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Video player. It's a video player. And there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape, could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure, knock yourself out. Alright then. Then let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rel killing the embassy staff member should be about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Rel shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out then? Yeah, all I have to do now is show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gunshot heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine, in that case, show me what you've produced. Now to show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they had heard it from. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Juice the window. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? I'm gonna say the surveillance footage. Hydrate, okay, I'm gonna hydrate.
Eureka!
If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser. That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. But then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we could draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? And a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Well, very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? When the crime took place. Why don't present T? I don't know. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and then used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yeah, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Investigation complete. And we have the bailiff. Mr. Edward. Yeah, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. Right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. To be continued. And we're gonna save our progress and move on to the next part, because this is the last part of this case, I think. Yeah, it's the last part, and then next week we are starting Turnabout Ablaze. So yeah, which is like the long case of this of investigation. So yeah. Did I already save? I don't know, it's double saving. Okay, we're in the courtroom and we're about to meet with Calisto. There she is. At the defendant's bench. Not defendant's bench. Like the defense's bench. And that's baby Kay. She's so cute. Kay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello mister. I'm still investigating, but the object you're looking for has already... Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Bad? Haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Okay, and we're going to the prosecutor's bench. I've been waiting for you, Edward. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see. We even have a viewer in the gallery. And why? Even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end. No matter how it turns out. Oh? Is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movement. During the time when our suspect was in the hallway, I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? How absolutely like a ruggy to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. Okay, we'll have a used testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is. Everyone who stands to suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirm that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edward. But of course, there is no need to confront her logic head on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve. Okay, let's press everything first.
Hold it!
The suspect. Although that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you, this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yeah, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? That was before the fake gunshot went off from the video. And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well, which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding.
Hold it!
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are bad. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? Edgeworth, no. Why even bring up the possibility? No, you know that's not the case. Come on, Edgeworth. That's the first place everyone looked silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose I really did check everything that could be relevant to this case. But yeah, you have seen that window many a times. You know that no one could escape through lobby number 2 window. The window in lobby number 2. Because there's fucking bars on it. Like, who could escape through a window that has bars on it? Unless you know you, like, somehow get rid of the bars. But the bars were still there, unharmed.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Yeah, exactly, Edgeworth. I take no, what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? I take no accountability in the dumbassery of Miles Edgeworth. He's just a dumbass.
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? Or you're the only one still wondering that? Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write in. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I simply don't care about that sort of thing. I'm then about to let a guy rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card already. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I guess you can inquire into something about her argument. You said that earlier you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject. Ah, but there were witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. And as for little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, and also I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Kalmer, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor. By the way, Miss you, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that spare time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? Did somebody when the killer went into lobby number 2? From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Ban and I arrived on the scene, and as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, let's talk about when you and Detective Ban heard the gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime occurred. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. No, let us present evidence first, Calisto. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated? That would be the surveillance video. That tape? Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was a gunshot in the video. But I do, which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If we played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it offers up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. The sounds from the television doesn't amount to much here, but of course Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning. Right, of course we do. Of course we knew, didn't we, Miles? Yeah, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this court's rooms. Courthouse's rooms, even. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it, end of story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? The window was open. I keep pressing T instead of space, well, clicking an option. There's actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Dun dun dun! Hello! Dark Scion 69, thank you for the follow! Welcome on in, welcome on in. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also open. Ahaha! It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window opened in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open. And the person who triggered the action, that person, is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... I'm gonna say, I know it's suspected bad, but... I know, oh my god, my cat went off. But yeah, I know we suspected bad, but right now, I'm kind of suspecting Calisto. And thank you for the follow, Dark Scion! Oh, hello, Tina, hello, Fiery Red Phoenix, hello, thank you for the raid, hello, welcome on in. I see this is a new raider, so a lot of you guys might not know who I am. So yes, hello, I'm Poppy Nutella. I stream a lot of Ace Attorney. As you can see, we are playing Ace Attorney Investigation, Ace Attorney Queen. Yes. I play a lot of Ace Attorney. I've been playing a lot of it over this past year, especially. I've completed the Phoenix Wright trilogy, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and the Apollo Justice trilogy, and we are currently on case 4 of the first investigations game. Okay, 4 out of 10. out of this entire collection. So yeah, we're almost done with this case. Every time I read it, it's almost always Ace. One time it was Minecraft. Yes, I play a lot of Ace Attorney. I also play some other games as well. When I'm not playing Ace Attorney, it's usually Minecraft. I'm on a Minecraft SMP. I'm on a Minecraft survival multiplayer server called Ozwork. We're currently on season 2, and currently my project on that server at the moment is draining an ocean monument. If you want to go see my VODs, they're all currently on my YouTube. I also play a few other games as well. Sims 4. Sticky Business as well. So Sticky Business has just released a ton of shit. They've released a new DLC like a few weeks ago, and they also just released an Among Us update like the other day, which I'm going to be playing at some point within the next few weeks, like a month or so, depending on how long it takes us to play the last case, the case 5 of investigations. Okay, I'm gonna be lurking lovely. Well, thank you for the lurk. Thank you for lurking and coming over, Tata. And yeah, I used to play Stick Business, Sims 4 mainly. I have a few other games I do want to play in the future once we have finished investigations, such as Unpacking and Super Dark Deception. You can see the rest of my info down below in my About Me section. And yeah, and all my other links, they are all in the commands. You'll see my social media command come up, like the timer command come up every like half an hour. So yeah, thank you again, Darksign, for the raid. Truly appreciate it. And yeah, so we're about to say that the real killer in the double murder of Mackerel and Burn Faraday is in fact defense attorney Calisto Yu.
Take that!
Miss Calisto Yu, I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao. And it's actually kind of a slightly important case, because if you don't know, in the previous case, we gained an assistant called Kay Faraday, and Burn Faraday is Kay's father. What? This is actually a case. This is the first fairy case that Edward ever worked on. It's not his first trial. His first trial was actually Turnabout Beginnings, which is one of the cases in Trials and Tribulations / the Phoenix Wright trilogy. But yeah, this is the very first case he worked on. You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. She's slightly breaking. She's not doing a full-blown laughing fit like she has done previously. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Oh no, I never thought things would spiral into this. But have you know, I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Okay. You argued the window was open, however, do you have proof it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I am shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will be blown away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Okay, misused photo. Okay. I say that she opened the window to lobby number 2, and Bad did say earlier that he opened the window to lobby number 1, but only after Calisto spilled a bottle of her own perfume. I'd say that her spilling that perfume was not an accident, it was purposeful. So yeah, let's present her perfume on let's present her perfume on that first statement. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Aha! I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. This isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss you, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. And that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? Well, you were in lobby number 1. You made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you that it's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window. Yeah, right, this was planned by you, and I know it. I know it. The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Miss you? You're the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1 when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss You. Ha ha ha. You accused me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I've got weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Come on, one more testimony. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yeah, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If they haven't left me the information, I'll just draw it out of her. Yeah, sure, it was you. We all know it was Calisto at this point.
Hold it!
We know at this point that the knife was actually the Yatakurazu key, and that it was most likely in Faraday's evidence bag. Just, you know, it looks like a key. Because let's look at our evidence. Let's look at a key again. Let's, you know, pull this out. It flips around like that. And let's just skip this. But yeah, it flips around to be a key, and vice versa. It will flip around to, we can't click it now, but yeah, it'll flip around to be a knife once we switch this again. So, did Calisto know about the secret to the Yatakurazu key? Is she somehow related to the Yatakurazu case? More than we know? At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm trying the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Cause it wasn't a key. It wasn't a knife then. It was a key. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do? Look, why don't you cut it out of the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatakurazu had sent. The key and the knife were the same thing. And unless the key can magically turn into a knife, it can. You really don't have a leg to stand on. You've hit the nail right on the head there, Calisto. You knew. She definitely knew about the Yetagarazu key. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony. Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you'd like. Okay. There's a key in this evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key.
Objection!
With this key you can. Miss you. I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me? This is a picture of the key the Yetagarazu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has the secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yetagarazu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yeah. Well, with the Yetagarazu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yetagarazu's key? I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying, for all I know. You would, even now, still feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything, but we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? It's not false evidence. The key and the knife are the same fucking thing. I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumours about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare say the good name of my mentor. It was. Just wait about 5 more years. You'll understand. You'll understand completely why. She says that because you kind of killed your dad over a penalty because he presented false evidence. Now, take a good look. This piece of evidence is no more than real. Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yetagarazu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, this is something that the Yetagarazu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before you dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. And that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. She's covering for herself, definitely. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms. What you are saying is simply not possible. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife. I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication? Unfortunately, this is also impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information even within the police force? And it's something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse. How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realised the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Miss you. I'd like to say that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth. The secret behind the Yetagarazu's key. Only one person would have knowledge of it from the get-go. They would know from the start that the Yatagarazu's key could change into a knife, and that would be the Yatagarazu himself. There is only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key, and that is the person who sent the Yatagarazu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarazu herself. So accusing Calisto of being the Yatagarazu. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarazu? Miss you! You used Mr. Well to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals, why? Why do something like this? What? What's this laughing fit over? Realizing you've been caught out? I mean, to be fair, I don't really believe that Calisto is the Yatagarazu. That would be... I feel like that would be the obvious. He would have thought that you, is she actually the Yatagarazu? A stupid rookie prosecutor would see through me. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. Is she actually the Yatagarazu? This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I stuck into some place. You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Calisto, you. Calisto, you. Huh. That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief, Yatagarazu. Oh my god. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world. Allah. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favour in return. All I had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarazu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things: money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But then you said you despised criminals? But do I really? Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would? So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarazu by using this Yatagarazu's key as evidence, and I would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. I accidentally pressed C instead of space. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. I had to get in with him. I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold onto the Yatagarazu's key. Just like that. He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag, and he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. He was with us. I believe I mentioned when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yeah, I didn't actually plan to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape, which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. After all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. You You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you? How could you betray a client? Client? You want to talk about who was a client of who's first? It was me. I was a client in the murder of the Cadopium Embassy staff member, Dead Man. You ordered a hit job. You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. What? How could this? You don't mean you're working with Manny coaching too, dear? Maybe, maybe not. Guess. You'll never know. The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded killer. Aha! That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu. I'm taking my phone off charge just quickly. I know this is making the suspense, but my phone is fully charged and one of my spotlights things has fallen off my module, but that can wait. That can wait. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey Edgeworth, did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know what that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Is she putting up with us? Bitch! You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Yeah, that was a bad move. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. You mean the key was your real target? Even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of their negligence? You two get down. My body, I can't move. Hey mister, to your right. You! Are you alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a good shot. Did she shoot Kay? Did she shoot Bad? Is Kay okay? Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Is Kay okay? Is Kay okay? Please, just tell us. Detective Bad, are you alright? I had a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. You may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know, she just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's my fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened. From Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops. Pops, watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad. Take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yeah, well, I gotta resolve everything before you were taken to prison. The judge is still feeling a bit down. Can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, it's no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give it all you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for your hair with me. She did? Oh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship. What did she leave? It was a Swiss roll. Press on. There you go. It's a courtroom special Swiss roll. Can I really have it? Yeah, it's a present meant for you after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm going to eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. The Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together, while the one Kay saved never reached her father. But it appears that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Woo! That was good, pal. Can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? He's only acknowledged just now? Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm going to stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home soon, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa. Agreed. I'm afraid we must go now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Definitely is. Just like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now the Yatagarazu herself. So, do you remember now? Yeah, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. Kay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course. But thank goodness, I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Come here, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So, does it all make sense now? Yeah, betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently and...
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarazu? The Yatagarazu is Calisto, you, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarazu was my father. Wait, what? Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu? Was there multiple people? Was there multiple people who under the name Yatagarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible. What was with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. Yatagarasu sends card to embassy. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card? Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Calisto you lady is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago if memory served. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone could help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying that I have your father's and misuse identities backwards? Yeah, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Kay, you're so honourable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you up, pal. Don't think you're a police officer. I don't think you should really cheer a great thief on. Even if you are honourable, a thief is a thief. And if you're plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth. You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth. What I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. That evil woman. You mean Calisto you? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do think I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean, yeah, that case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. You don't intend to soil your hand in a crime. Then I believe I can help you. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy. Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with their chummy relationship? The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Bird Faraday, Calisto you, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu, and the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. I had 5 minutes, by the way. I don't think we will be able to get to that. We won't be able to get to that because that's the end of this, and that's the end of this case. And next week we have Turnabout and Blaze to start and do. So yeah, I'm gonna exit Aces in the Investigations right now, and I have an idea of who we can raid out to. So Spanky. We're gonna go raid Spanky because today he's playing about Minecraft. It was part of his one of his like community goals, and yeah, we're gonna go raid out to him. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. Next week we're doing Turn Battle Blaze, which is last case in the first investigations game. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this stream, you can check out all my other content and all my other socials in the commands, which are only really active during stream. And they're also in the About Me section on Twitch and in the description on YouTube if you're watching from there. And yeah, I shall see you guys next Friday. See ya. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye.